Oh, right. Oh, right. It looks like we are live. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oklahoma Open Carry Association and all others who might be watching. Today, proudly, the Black Guns Matter shirt, not to be confused with the Black Rifles Matter shirt from our friends at Cops Gun Shop in Oklahoma City. This is straight from the presses, straight from the source, from the man himself, Maj Toure, when I had the opportunity to meet him here in Oklahoma City not too long ago. Finally decided to break it out and style and profile this thing. So we're going to talk briefly about the latest changes to some people call it the omnibus bill. I call it the abomination bill, the ominous bill, if you will. That's House Bill 2645. Since the Senate subcommittee dealt with it, we now have a Senate floor version, and it's gone from 26 pages to 28 pages, and people are still hashing their way through this wonderful, wonderful piece of legislation with some backdoor infringements in it. Make no mistake about that, folks. That is what's going on here. So, the big topic of concern is the issue with vertically carrying firearms using slings, open carry, and people thinking that this vertical barrel requirement would apply to all firearms, even if they're carried concealed. That is not the case, or will not be the case. A lot of our ladies, a girl and a gun, are concerned that if they have the concealment handbags, the concealment purses, that would be a violation, a criminal offense in the future, potentially if HB 2645 were to be signed in law, because when you have it in your purse, it is it's horizontal, it's not vertical. But so here's the thing: those concealment purses that all these ladies are enamored with, first of all, never a good idea. I mean, purse snatchers, muggers, if they have your purse, now they have your gun too. So that's a retention issue. But those are still considered concealed carry. The proposed change to the SDA will only require that openly carried firearms be carried with the barrel pointed up or down, i.e., vertically, assuming they are carried with a sling. Some people have looked at it and thought, well, does this mean every firearm? No, it's gonna be the ones that are carried with a sling. That was the thinking behind it. That is the intention. It's a silly idea. It's still an infringement. Make no mistake about that. But that's what that says. Now, also moving on, the using of fences and a single police officer and a single metal detector to ban guns on public property. Again, public property, the people's dirt. This is our property, a place that guns should never, ever, ever be prohibited. The fact that that provision is in there, it really doesn't have anything to do with college campuses or universities or events that take place on a college campus. That is ridiculous. Obviously, it's illegal to have a gun there in the first place, unless, of course, you have written permission from the president of the university. And as we've previously noted, we've had some recent revisions to the SDA back in 2019 when not so constitutional carry went into effect that allowed the university or technology center presidents to have the leeway to specify exactly where on campus you could or could not carry, as opposed to a blanket permission to carry throughout campus. So there's that. Now, the colleges are already free to implement whatever security measures they need. So again, this is ridiculous to make that assertion. I mean, really, otherwise, why not add a provision to Oklahoma law that would ban rape or murder on a college campus, even though it's already illegal to commit those offenses there? You can't commit those crimes at a college campus. So let's make them extra illegal. It's about banning guns on public property, on public streets, public parks, wherever events are taking place, wherever street festivals are taking place. Things like Oktoberfest, things like the Gay Pride Parade, things at Scissortail Park, out the parking lot of the zoo, things of that nature. That's really what it comes down to. And if it's something that requires a permit, they can do this. If not, And if they don't put the fence in place, or again, if they don't meet all three criteria, then they can't ban all guns. But it's still going to be concealed carry by default. Open carry will still be a criminal offense. So, coming soon to a parade near you, perhaps even this year, because this is an emergency measure, or definitely next year if this thing does get signed into law. It'll be post November 1st, 2021. I don't know. I guess we'll see flyers for 4th of July parades that have little asterisks at the bottom and say something like, "This is a family-friendly event. No alcoholic beverages or open carry of firearms will be allowed." Again, and they won't have to even notify you of that. They can just ban ban open carry by default, and if you show up open carrying, well, off to jail you go. Now, also, we need to keep in mind, and this is where things get ridiculous and have been ridiculous for some time. Under current state law, it is considered open carry to have a gun in a case designed for carrying firearms. So if the vertical barrel provision were to be applied to all openly carried firearms, not just those carried with a sling, then I guess we're going to have to look silly hugging our gun cases instead of using the built-in carry handles so that we don't break the law. So when I say looking silly, we're going to look silly right now. Here we have a factory Glock case. This is, by definition, a case designed for carrying firearms. Carry handle. If there is a handgun in here, it's going to be horizontal. So we're either going to have to carry it this way or like this, make love to your gun, give your gun some love. So we'll have to carry it like this or some other ridiculous thing. And it gets even better if we're talking about rifles. So we have the Ruger case that the Ruger rifle SR556 comes in. I think they give it to you with the AR556 and some other things as well. So again, built-in carry handle. If we're going to say that all openly carried firearms, regardless of they're using a sling or not, have to be carried with the barrel in a vertical position, no more carry handle. You're going to have to hug. I love you, rifle. I love you so much. You're going to have to hug. Well, I guess, is this generally vertical or is this kind of vertical? It's diagonal. Would I be breaking the law doing this? Let's think about this. Let's look at it. I'm not just being I'm not just pointing out being absurd to point out absurdity here. This is a real concern. So I guess you do like this, and maybe move it down a little bit so you can see where you're going, or perhaps install a periscope device of some sort. So let's just think about that. Now, again, the one other thing. Excuse me. One other thing to keep in mind here is that the current final, most recent, well, might not even be the final version because floor amendments, who knows? It might get to the Senate floor and a floor amendment will come out of left field that'll update some things, it'll fill in some gaps, or who knows, maybe even change the entire purpose of the bill, might rename it, might replace all the text, might put in a section that outlaws a specific manufacturer of firearms. Who knows? These floor amendments can be really, really terrible. But what I'm getting at here is that right now, the version that is available to look at right now, the Senate floor version, still says that if you are not if you're not from Oklahoma, if you're not an Oklahoma resident, meaning you're from somewhere else, and you have a handgun license from somewhere else, meaning another state, because we don't care about territories, we only care about states, and we recognize the licenses of all other states, you are to be discriminated against and denied equal protection of the law because you will be required to notify LEOs immediately upon contact without them asking that you are armed, whereas everyone else does not have to state that fact unless and until the police officer asks if you are armed, if you have a gun or something to that effect. So people from Oklahoma, you don't have to tell them immediately. If you are from another state like Vermont that has constitutional carry where there's no permit involved, then you don't have to tell them. But if you have a license from one of these other places, well, then you do, because that's what the law actually says at this point. So hopefully, if there is to be a floor amendment for anything, well, let's bring that in line with the rest of the text and make it so that you don't have to do that unless they actually ask. So again, that's one of the things that are of concern to us. Take it with a grain of salt, folks. These things are moving through the state legislature rapidly. So keep an eye. Forearmed is forewarned. You have to get in there. You have to read these bills. The law means what it says. What the words on the paper. That's what it says. Not the intention. Not what somebody tells you it says. Not what somebody tells you it's going to do. It's meant to do. Might do. It will do what it actually says. So these are the things that we have to keep an eye on, the actual verbiage of these laws, these bills, and understand the very important and sometimes specific legal meanings of the terms involved. With that being said, I'm going to sign off. I hope everyone has a fantastic day. And remember, what is it? The only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Enjoy your rights as long as we still have them here in Oklahoma. All right, that's it.